Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Mercury just moved out of Aquarius and moved to the sign of Pisces. Mercury becomes debilitated. What this has in store for us, let us try to find this out in this brief video. Stay till the end and do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update, and subscribe, stay connected. Mercury, the fast-moving planet, the planet of financial transactions, the planet that defines buddhi or intellect, the planet that defines and rules consciousness, brain, and the planet that rules Gemini and Virgo has now moved into Pisces. Pisces is 10th from Gemini and 7th from Virgo, so it holds a very important position for these two zodiacs. There is a very specific result of this transit. Now this Mercury is also going to be debilitated. It is in a water sign, so it will lose its capacity to have a directional thinking. What does this mean? The zodiac of Gemini will lose some of its power. Why this is actually blessing in disguise is because Rahu, which is in Gemini, will now find Gemini slightly weaker, and Rahu will, however, who wants to use the duality of Mercury, the fast-moving nature of Mercury, the power of communication, it will now weaken itself. It will become weaker and weaker. And from the Virgo perspective, Virgo, which is the natural 6th house, which is the house of disease, goes into the 12th house and becomes weaker. So which definitely shows that some of the effect of Mercury debilitation will be, there will be a certain kind of damping of the current effect of the disease that we see to a certain extent. However, water contamination can become another issue. Now, Mercury is also the sign of consciousness, and Mercury rules brain. So in this case, we know that this lockdown and all kind of restrictions will have psychological impacts. Now, this psychological impact will become more prominent. People will think more. There can be cases where people are thinking more than usual. So what you have to do is stay positive, stay optimistic, and stay where you are. And you have to be very, very positive and optimistic in your attitude as well as actions. Mercury debilitation is very, very crucial in this time frame, because you understand when Mercury was in Aquarius, Mercury was in trine with Rahu. And Mercury was in trine with Rahu. Rahu was gaining a lot of power because of this. And not only that, when Mercury was in Aquarius, Mercury was 6th from 6th. That means it was 6th from its natural zodiac, and therefore you know what is happening. But now Mercury is 10th from Rahu. Now Mercury is in a position where it joins Sun. Sun, who is in Revati Nakshatra, and Sun will now go out of the Revati Nakshatra and move to the zodiac of Aries, where it will get exalted. You also see that 11th from Mercury, you have Mars, Saturn already exalted. So here are the few effects because of this. Because 2nd from Mercury is very powerful, that means whatever will come in your mind, you would want to speak it up. And understand, this is the time frame where you should not speak up just blatantly, because your words will have a profound impact in this case. Also, the power of communication is right now in a deep water. That means you should have deep thinking before you speak anything. You must mean what you speak, and your communication must be totally constructive and not destructive. When we consider Mercury as the first planet that we consider, that means we put Mercury and Pisces as ascendant, we find that Saturn, Mars and debilitated Jupiter is in the 11th from Mercury. That means the expectation of Mercury. So that means a lot of people will feel that they are restricted to do a lot of things. A lot of people will have domestic issues. A lot of people would want to talk their heart out. So this is the right time that if you want to speak up, You may meet your friends, you have your family around. All you have to do is vent out constructively, speak your heart out constructively. Don't let anybody get hurt. Don't reveal your ego. Don't say anything because you are angry on something. Anger management is the bigger issue here. Because the planet of nervous system is debilitated, thoughts will be all over the place. So I would say that it is wrong, but the unnecessary imagination is what you must control. The subconscious mind must be trained, and in this case, listening to Gayatri mantra and listening to Mahamrityunjay mantra or listening to any kind of mantra that you do is going to be very beneficial, because in one way, when you listen to the mantra, the audio waves is analyzed by the brain and Mercury is in action. Now, Mercury, when it is in the sign of Pisces, you can define Mercury as the ionic movement in the free water, like the free ions which randomly move anywhere, but the destination has to be confined. The destination has to be fixed. So, Mercury can be defined as the process of electrolysis, where from one electrode the electrons reach to the other electrode, but it goes through the electrolyte and there is no fixed line of movement. It's not like the electrons are moving inside a wire, that there is a fixed movement. So when you are doing things, your mind will be like, I want to reach there, I want to achieve something, I want to reach a destination, and in order to reach that destination, I will just choose any path. That will be the imagination. But you have to maintain your calmness, you have to maintain your sanity here, and you have to maintain your confidence. The false sense of confidence and ego will also come into picture once Sun goes into the Aries zodiac. Also, you see that Mercury in the sign of debilitation will have third aspect from Saturn, and the second from Mercury is Aries, where Sun will become exalted, and Mars fourth aspect. So Mercury is completely protected by the energy shield. It's like shielded. So it's like a proper electrolytic method, where there is a apparatus. It's a closed environment. From one end the energy is getting propagated to the other end, but in between there is no wire. It's a free ionic movement. That means your thought, your imagination, your construction, everything will reach its destination. The path may not be defined, but it will be more creative, because Mercury in the sign of Pisces is when maths meets the art. It's creative mathematics. It's something when you create something out of imagination. It's when numbers can do magic. Can you do the magic with your numbers of life? So let us go ascendant by ascendant and let us try to find it out, the effect of the debilitated Mercury on your ascendant. Ascendant number 1, Aries ascendant. For you, Mercury rules 3rd and 6th house and it goes into the 12th house. So definitely the subconscious mind will find a lot of imagination. You may feel a bit lethargic and tired in the night. Sleep may be some issue, and you would continuously think about your past actions. You would consistently think about what you can lose from life. You will think about if you will catch a disease. You will think about your conflicts. You will think about a lot of things that you have done wrong in the life. 3rd house is effort and 6th house is conflict. So these two themes will go and collect into the 12th house, which is the subconscious mind. Now here is the catch. 12th house is defined as the house of release, and Mercury is consciousness. So now you have to consciously act to release the negative energy from the body for the duration till Mercury is debilitated, because in your 3rd house there is Rahu and in your 10th house there is Saturn, and Saturn's 3rd aspect will be on the Mercury itself. So now the karma has to be done to remove the negativity. Some innovative thinking, some innovative steps has to be taken. You may take the help of a professional counselor. You may take the help of a person who is a life coach here, and you would want to definitely find out the areas that is troubling you. List down all the negative traits that is haunting you, and now you can release it. Once you release, you will feel free. Ascendant number 2, Taurus ascendant. For Taurus ascendant people, the Mercury will be debilitated in the 11th house. Now Mercury rules your 2nd and 5th house. That means Mercury is also one of the trine lord and it goes debilitated in the 11th house. Now this is the time when you will feel slightly insecure about your gains. This is the time where you will feel slightly insecure about your profit. Financial insecurity will be problem. You will be scared about your job, your income, and wealth management will be an issue during this time. You should not try to be a person who will spend like anything. You should not try to be a person who is over worried about these things. Just maintain sanity, just maintain a positive approach and just calculate the areas where you would want to spend your money. It is understood that your 12th house is getting exalted. 12th house lord is getting exalted because your 12th house lord is Mars and Mars is actually exalted into the 9th house. So in this case, you have to find out dharmic ways. That means the path of right way to spend your money. Maybe a bit of donation, a charity will help calm you down, but don't think too much about you are losing your productivity or you are unable to do anything. Just meditate, and now is the time where you find out imaginative ways, some out of the box thinking to become productive and use your time in the right way. Gemini ascendant. In case of Gemini ascendant, your ascendant lord is debilitated in the 10th house. It is in the Kendra. Now that is something which is very crucial for you because Rahu is associated with your ascendant right now and 10th house is house of karma. That means this is the time when you rethink about your approach towards yourself. This is the time for personality development because you may feel low about your personality. You may feel a bit sad about who you are. You may feel a bit sad about what your actions are. So this is the time when you will think more, you will be more instinctive towards your action. But you should not be instinctive. You should listen to your instincts, but rather after listening, you need to analyze because Saturn is in your 8th house. Any instinctive action can prove dangerous for you. Jupiter is also not in the biggest of strength right now. So this is the time when you will have some trust issues. This is the time when you will face difficulty in marriage, difficulty in your career. So what you have to do, you have to be very, very practical. Although it is difficult, but very, very practical. Don't imagine a problem. Don't think a problem. And if you see that you are going into the negative side, immediately start chanting Vishnu mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and bow down your head to the feet of Vishnu to get a path. Next ascendant is Cancer ascendant. In case of Cancer ascendant, the sign of Pisces falls into the 9th house, which is the Dharma house. Now you see the 12th lord for Cancer ascendant, 12th lord is Mercury and 3rd lord is Mercury. So Mercury rules one Upachaya house and one Vyaya house. So kind of it balances the expense and efforts. So now when it goes into the 9th house, it is the perfect time to discover, to understand what did you do in the past which was wrong. So this is the right time for past analysis. See, 9th house is the house of dharma. 3rd is efforts and 12th is loss. That means if you can assess, reanalyze what in the past you lost because of your certain efforts, it will be the best way to improve your personality. It will be the best way to improve yourself. Especially when criticism is coming from all around the place, 7th house has too much of effect, there can be issues in marriage that you will face. So you should be very careful while communicating. You should be very careful while revealing your thought, especially in the case of marriage and business contracts. So you need to be just alert and proactive in your action. Next ascendant is Leo ascendant. In case of Leo ascendant, the Pisces sign goes into the 8th house and your 11th lord goes into the 8th house. So now you would continuously think about your investment of your expectation. That means you will have trust issues with your partner, you will have trust issues with your friend. Now you will think that you have invested so much of time and effort on certain people, on certain thing. Was it worthy? Is it like you will think more about what will be the output of this investment? So all you have to do is just be careful. Don't think too much. Don't worry too much. Worry will become a very big factor because this is 8th house. You will also get worried about the output, especially the financial output. You may unnecessarily speak something and then you will be like, I don't know how my speech or my email or my word, what kind of impact it will create. Because this is 8th house, it is hidden from you. This also means any kind of change of source of income, plus minus, is also hidden from you. You may get scared because of that. There will be slight of fear. This is not the right time to actually invest huge amounts of money. I know what the markets are, but in general I'm saying, so what you have to do is take care of your finances, protect your job, protect your source of income, be active, be alert in all the financial transactions that you do, because for you, Mercury rules the wealth houses 2nd and 11th, and it goes debilitated in the 8th house. This also shows disputes in property, from the family, dispute with the in-laws because of the communication factor. All these areas, if you can control, it will be a great deal for you. Next ascendant is Virgo, ruled by Mercury, natural 6th house. For Virgo, Mercury goes debilitated into the 7th house. Strangely, because it goes debilitated in the 7th house, Mercury loses the strength to communicate with partner. The talks will be more instinctive, the talks will be more non-coherent, and the talks will be more impractical. See, these are all areas where you have to understand what you are speaking. Marriage is not the area to do a lot of practical and lot of Virgo type talking, because Virgo is a very practical zodiac. But this also means that the conflict will die down if you deal the situation with a bit of love. This is not that great for business, because if the 7th house is business, if you see 10th lord for the Virgo goes debilitated in the 7th house. That means a lot of your business actions, a lot of your actions in the career will diffuse. But you should work for the end goal. You should see your target. You should see your ambition, why you have started. For example, this is the time when you will lose your confidence to do a certain action because you're not getting certain output, and that is why you will stop doing it. Don't do that. Virgo people needs to buckle up. Virgo ascendant people needs to fight it through, because your Mercury is a very important planet for you, because it rules 1st and 10th house, you and your karma. And it goes into the 7th house. This means some imaginative or intuitive statements made by your wife can be very, very important for you. So this is the time when you should listen to what words your wife is saying, what words your husband is saying, because in this case, intuition will rule, and if you can just catch that intuition, you will be able to excel. In case of Libra, Pisces goes into the 6th house. This means you will think more about your enemies. This is the time when your communication can create enemies. This is the time the loan, the credit card debt can actually haunt you. So you need to be careful. If you are Libran, Mercury rules your 9th house and 12th house. So 9th lord goes into 6th house, 12th lord goes into 6th house, which shows conflict in your life may increase, or at least you will imagine the conflict. So this is the first thing that you should not do. Don't imagine a problem. Don't imagine and don't put yourself into an imaginary situation and desperately try to search the solution for this because you are scared. Don't do that. This is the time when some court case settlements can go against you. So you need to be very careful. This is the time when you reassess your actions that you think were correct but produced wrong results, and you should think 10 times before you deal with conflicts in your life, diseases, and especially loss of marriage. So if you are going through a process, where you are like kind of separating. You need to give a thorough look into your action and the consequence of it. Health is a primary concern because 12th and 6th houses are getting connected here. One way it is a Viparit Raj Yoga because 12th Lord goes into the 6th house, but because it is debilitated, the real result will not be seen in this way. So health has to be taken care of. You need to just take care of the mental health, you need to take care of your physical health, and you need to take care of your emotional health also. The next zodiac is Scorpio. In case of Scorpio ascendant, the Pisces rules the 5th house, and 5th house is the house of productivity. And Mercury actually rules your 8th house and your 11th house. So your 8th house goes into the 5th house, 11th house goes into the 5th house. You will have this intense amount of feeling to invest into speculative market. You would be feeling like, I want to have sudden gains, so maybe I will become productive by investing or pumping huge money in the market. Do it if you want, but you need to be an expert into that. Don't imagine that you will gain a profit. You may not gain a profit, but incur huge losses. If you have invested certain amount of money and you are worrying about the productivity of that money, you need to be careful because that may convert into losses. So just have this thorough check, talk to a consultant, talk to a professional person and see how you can manage your wealth. Not a great time to have your money coming from your lineage invested. Inherited money should not be invested right now without proper professional consultation, thinking 5 years down the line. This is the key here. You may face issues in the matters of love. You may find your children's health getting affected, or you are somewhat concerned about your children. Your communication with your children must be very clear, very crisp, and it should not be complete with lot of strictness. It should be fluid in nature. Debilitated Mercury is more fluid. Now coming to Sagittarius ascendant. In case of Sagittarius ascendant, Mercury rules your 7th and the 10th house. And Mercury, if it is debilitated, it goes on to the 4th house. So the Kendra Bhava goes debilitated into the 4th house. This is in one way not so bad for you, but this means the environment of the home will be weird because you would not understand what is happening at home, because debilitated Mercury is somewhat confused. There is no pathway to the thought process. The signals goes into the neurons and there is a neural pathway there, so they know how to reach that place. But this time you will feel the conversation is leading nowhere. You are kind of unhappy at home, or sometimes you are extremely happy. It's like elated, and sometimes you are like, I don't know what is going on. It will make you lazy. It will make you think more about your comfort. That's okay. All you have to do is be proactive, exercise, and you need to keep your mind up and running, but not too much. So on one hand, you meditate a lot, and on the other hand, you need to have your mind run. So you may have some mind games, like you play chess, you play Sudoku, or any kind of quizzes, so that your mind gets trained every now and then. Because with the work we do, our mind gets used up, but we need some creative stuff for the mind so that we can use the power of Mercury in this case. Be careful with the communication with the spouse and in your career, because that communication may create confusion in life. If you are just trying to stay happy in this case, that's all you need to do, because you may feel slightly unhappy because what is going on around you. Now coming to Capricorn ascendant. In case of Capricorn ascendant, Pisces falls into your 3rd house and Mercury goes into the 3rd house. Mercury rules your 6th and 9th house. So when 6th Lord goes into the 3rd house, that means the repeated action that you're doing, thinking that you are correct, may not produce any result. So it's just like you are trying to do something, but you did something bad out of it, unintentionally. So you need to be very alert about your actions. You need to be very alert and proactive about what you're trying to do. And this also means that you will take instinctive decision, impulsive action. Why? Because it is on your ascendant that Mars is there, Saturn is there, and Jupiter is debilitated. So Mars exaltation with Saturn on ascendant wants to burst out because that's huge amount of energy. And Mercury, when goes debilitated, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I will just do it. So don't take such kind of proactive, I won't say proactive, impulsive decision. Don't take such kind of stupid actions, if I may say, so that you will regret after some consequences that you will have to face of your action. So you need to be careful about a lot of things. You need to be careful how you communicate with your brother, siblings. Especially at this time, try not to travel because you know what the scene is around the world. And if the 3rd house has a debilitated 6th Lord, you know what I'm talking about. Traveling is a big risk here, especially for Capricorn ascendant people. Coming to Aquarius ascendant people. For Aquarius ascendant people, Mercury gets debilitated in the 2nd house. Now, when Mercury goes debilitated in 2nd house, you understand it's your 6th Lord going into the, 8th Lord going debilitated into the 2nd house. You need to be very careful with what words you are using. You need to be careful about the health of your words. You need to be careful about what food you are eating. Because whatever food you will eat will generate a certain kind of thought process. Especially for you, that thought process will be slightly aggravated. You will have coherent thought, incoherent thought, and what you are thinking and what you are speaking, maybe there will be some certain gap in that. So you need to take that matter into correction. For Aquarius, Mercury also rules 5th house. So when 5th Lord goes into the 2nd house, you will have this huge tendency to think about how productive you are. You will be just talking continuously about how productive or non-productive you are, and you would want to invest your time and you would want to invest your efforts to be more productive. That is okay, but it should not be all talks but no action. You talk, you went out, but you also need to act. So you see how much you are talking, how much you are speaking about that subject, but how much you are actually executing your plan. So make a plan and try to execute it constructively. Coming to the Pisces ascendant itself. For the Pisces ascendant, Mercury is debilitated on your ascendant. For you also, Mercury rules Kendra Bhav, the 4th house and the 7th house. When it goes debilitated on the ascendant, you will imagine things about yourself. You will think about your personality, you will think about everything that is associated with you. You will think about your comfort of your home, your marriage. It's like the entire tsunami of thought will come dancing on your head. And you will also think how you can change your personality, how you can fulfill your expectation. So it's like complete life re-evaluation. Fine if you do it constructively. Don't lose your confidence. Don't be negative. Don't think destructively. Think constructively. Be optimistic about yourself. This is the good time to reevaluate your personality, but not by losing self-esteem. And this is absolutely not time where you are forcefully conveying what you expect in life. Like revealing your ego. Like, aaj to bahut ho gaya. No, nothing like that. You should be like, you are very constructive, very polite, and always thinking, keeping yourself in high regards, not losing your self-confidence, not giving up your self-esteem. So guys, that was a brief analysis of all the 12 ascendants. So do not forget to like, subscribe and share and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. This is your host Punneit signing off. Thank you.